Can you speak to what difference IFS in learning this compassionate, very compassionate model has made in your life personally? Because it's a lot of people describe it, even though Dick did not intend it to be a spiritual development tool. It's secular. I want to just name that. It's research based. It's scientific based, and there's no religious dogma whatsoever at its core. It's really just talking about how the brain and mind works, and it's being validated by many other fields that kind of come at it from different angles, but come up with the same language of parts. So can you speak to what your personal experience is? What difference has this made in your life? You've already referenced a little bit.
Definitely. It has been a game changer for me, which is why I wrote the book. And make no mistake, I have super nerdy parts that love the science and love the neurochemistry and love kind of the research base that is that causes this to be an evidence-based protocol. But when I first encountered IFS, far more impactful than any of that was that it resonated deeply with my personally held spiritual beliefs. And not only did it resonate deeply, but it gave me language and an immediate approach to the grace and the compassion and the transformation that my faith community had promised, but I didn't always experience. But this model, this way of approaching it, gave me what I would call the eyes of God to see these very human struggles that I have, you have, we all have, in a way that actually did open up transformation rather than creating more shame. And in the spiritual tradition that I had been a part of, sometimes I had the experience where actually sharing a struggle would bring about more judgment and more shame and less transformation rather than the reverse. And I had not really known how to make sense of that. It gave me language for it and a way to describe the Christian faith, and actually I think many different faith traditions, in a way that made profound sense and was transformational immediately in my life.
Yeah. So you're saying that even though the faith community that you practiced as part of a Christian was intended to be transformative and inspirational, you didn't say that, but I imagine and know that from my familiarity with having a Christian background. Like it aspires to do all these things, but you're saying in practice, it maybe didn't quite have the nuts and bolts to like get all these pieces to move, and it got pretty messy.
Exactly. I heard a lot of language about grace and about being holy and completely loved and not being able to do anything more or less to earn God's favor. But that wasn't my felt experience. And so I had these parts of me that would try to perform and do it right and check the box and volunteer and teach the VBS and do all the things. And I wound up, those parts of me became very fatigued. And it really wasn't helping me to connect with an experience of God. And what I realized in IFS is that this explains it. This core self that Dick describes as the self, unfortunately in Christianese, self has really negative connotation.
It has a connotation of selfishness, I think. Selfish, the flesh, right? Sinfulness.
Yes, exactly. So that's not what we're talking about here. What we're talking about, and what I articulate in the book, this is the God image within all of us. This is when it says in Genesis 1 that we're created in the image of God. This is what it's talking about. This is where that fruit of the Spirit just overflows from the core of who we are.
And
when
we're filled clear, calm, curious, courageous, confident, creative, compassionate, connected. Those are the things that you're saying is really, those are the eyes of God.